Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So our group is going to present about the balance scorecard topic. So before we move on, I would like to introduce my group mates and the part that they are going to present. So the first one is me. I am Arshad Usni and I am going to present about the definition and the implementation of the balance scorecard. The next one is the benefit of the balance scorecard will be presented by Ayat Ali. And then the next part is the challenges of the balance scorecard will be presented by Suhairi bin Suhaimi. And the last one is the issue of the balance scorecard will be presented by Muhammad Aidil. So before we go to the implementation, let us have a quick idea what is the balance scorecard. So balance scorecard is a strategic performance measurement tool used to identify and improve internal business function and resulting external outcome. So the example of the internal business function are such as human resource or the function that are non-financial. So for the implementation, balance scorecard balance the financial and non-financial measures. So we know that in counting we learn about the ratios, the profitability ratios, the liquidity ratios, and the turnover ratios. So these ratios all measures the financial of the company, but we never know how to uh, to measure the performance of the non-financial values. So the balance scorecard is to give the non-financial values such as the human resources, the all these intangible assets of the organization to add the values of the to the financial and they balance of it. They make use of it. So the next is the balance scorecard balance the internal and external measures and also balance scorecard balance long-term and short-term objective. So balance scorecard it take into measures that the performance management where all shareholders, the customer and the employees are represented. So therefore, while measuring and reporting on issues that are external to the firm in the financial and customers, the balance scorecard also measure and report on issues that are internal to the firm, internal business processes or employee growth and development. So this measurement and reporting combined enable better decision making to improve organizational performance and results, either in the short term or in the long term, and also it's the internal and the external result.
So, Assalamu alaikum. I'm going to talk about the benefit of BSC or Balanced Scorecard, which is usually used for long-term strategies, and it can be classified in terms of its benefit into two: benefit at the organizational strategy level and benefit at the strategic alignment level. So, first, let's go through the organizational strategy level benefit. First, it usually leads to better integrated strategy that it's easy to be illustrated and communicated to all level of the organization, where you can look and analyze the four important perspectives of the company, which is finance, customer, internal processes, and learning and growth. As a result, it helps organization leaders to ensure that all important and significant areas of the organization are covered. Also, it helps in company process and in identifying areas that need improvement, and it provides a good allocation of resources. It also provides a template for a strategy map that communicates the strategic plan. So strategy map, it tells you what you need to do in the business to be success, and it reduces an outline that have the most important strategy, and it also show you the alignment or the interlink between each of these objectives. It also effectively respond to internal and external opportunities and enhance the creativity and critical thinking to introduce new ideas or processes. So it enhances the strategic thinking of the employees and manager. Moving on to the benefit at the strategic alignment level, all decision in the organization is aligning to a common goal. That is one of the most important objective in BSC, the alignment between the division to one common goal. to make sure that it's achieved. It also enable integration of all division level in the organization to cooperate in the planning phase, where they can give feedback or control also. It also improve the communication and visibility between senior executive and lower level employees as a result. It also improve the performance report because it keep the strategy at the center of the reporting, and also it reviewed on a regular basis. Also align the budgeting, finance, and risk of the company with achieving the goals and strategy of the company. It can be used in many different industries such as healthcare, in technology, and also in tourism. Lastly, internal consistency achieved between strategic objective and key indicator is one of the advantages that differentiate BSC or balanced scorecard from the different other traditional scorecard. Thank you.
There are a few challenges that companies need to face when implementing balanced scorecard. One of the challenges is that companies lack specific know-how, especially among SMEs, to implement it. This is because SMEs does not have prior experience in managing balanced scorecard. Therefore, one of the ways to overcome the challenges is that higher management needs to simplify terminology and concept to get acceptance among lower level employees. The second challenges that companies need to face is that there are changes in surrounding, especially external changes that can make balanced scorecard redundant. Therefore, higher management needs to revise and redesign indicators so that their indicators will suit their current environment and economical changes. The third challenge that companies face is that companies does not have enough time since they take too long to implement balanced scorecard and develop it. Therefore, company needs to develop a proper time management so that they need to design the balanced scorecard according to the time frame. The fourth challenges that company needs to face is that they try to establish link between indicators. Study shows that there are no clear evidence that can link between financial and non-financial indicators. The number 5 challenge is that there are no suitable compensation packages given to the employees, especially among government agencies. Therefore, higher management needs to design and appropriate compensation packages that can motivate employees to try achieve the company goal. The last challenge that company needs to face is that there is a lack of participation and commitment among higher management. Therefore, higher management needs to show a quality leadership and be participative in the development and implementation stage so that they can motivate employees to try to achieve the company's goal.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Aidil and I will discuss the issues faced through the implementation of balanced scorecard. For the conceptual, there is a lack in a translation competence in the contextualization of balanced scorecard concept that was very important for managers to have extra guidelines. Causal relationships, which is cause and effect relationships, were given least effort in the establishment of it because the managers think that this concept is very complicated. In strategy maps, many organizations more focus on the development and the measurement, therefore ignore this process as it is time consuming. Second aspects, which are technical issues, organizations tend to ignore the effort towards developing the best infrastructure for this balanced scorecard because it is costly and time consuming. Also, they are keen to be more focused on KPI rather than infrastructure. For software issues, there is a probability that use of software may lead to certain types of dysfunctional by some organizations. Thus, they tend to be more focused on the technical aspects of the concept. For measurement, the software tool used is only resulted in the reporting and the findings on indicators measurement. Thus, it only focuses on measurement rather than the main objective of the organization, which are the strategic issues. Moving on to the third aspect, which is social issue. Balanced scorecard may be incompatible with the organization culture that has always been dominated by financial numbers. In the participation, difference of mindset between the departments may cause the lack of participation towards the concept of balanced scorecard. For instance, some employees thought that the implementation of this balanced scorecard concept was very academic and theoretically difficult to understand. Thus, they may remain passive and decline the process. In relation with commitments, the issue is when there is lack commitment shown by central or top management towards the concept. It may happen because of the changing of the company structure. In the aspects of political, implementation of balanced scorecard consumes more on time and resources. Thus, the managers tend to ignore it as it may affect their commitment. For concept champion, the issue is when there is lack in a person that can lead or take over the balanced scorecard concept. Next, economic situations may affect the continuity of the use of balanced scorecard concept. For example, the company tends to have a better use of this concept in the better economic situations. Lastly, resistance include the use of words and labels in the company, meaning that any use of words and labels that are considered as fashionable may be resisted and will affect the new concepts and ideas. The resistance also may occur towards the changing of new concepts that are incompatible with the cultural values of the organizations.